Biological Institute. This is where I'm supposed to meet Professor Hartman.
Yes, can I help you?
Hello, my name is Peters. I've got an appointment with Professor Hartman.
I'm sorry, but he's no longer in the building.
What? But he wanted to meet me here this evening.
According to our database, the professor is away on an expedition.
He's already set off? But I was supposed to be going with him.
Yes, well, not every department of this facility is as efficiently organized as the security department is.
Shit. My boss is gonna go bananas when he finds out I've missed this shot. What am I supposed to do now? Can you hear me?
Yes,
Do you know exactly when the professor jilted me?
just a second. It looks like it was this morning.
Do you know where the professor was headed?
No, but you could ask his secretary.
Great. Where is she?
Frau Mueller has already left for the weekend. She'll be back Monday morning.
Have you got her home number?
We do. But I couldn't possibly give out private staff details to members of the public. Be patient and come back Monday.
Patience is definitely not an option. No professor, no story. I need to find him as fast as I can. If I only knew where he was headed. Now I'm really in a jam. Could you perhaps pop along to Professor Hartman's office and see if he's left a note for me?
If he had left you a note, then it would be here at reception, I'm sure.
Does Professor Hartman have a cell number by any chance?
Doesn't look like it. We only have his office number here.
Could you perhaps imagine letting me into his office for just a mo?
If you'd like to know precisely, no, not in my wildest dreams. But I wish you a refreshing, stress-free weekend.
Same to you. With bells on. Looks like I'm gonna have to help myself. No gates stopped me before. I need to get into the professor's office to find out where he's gone. If I mess up this assignment, then that's my job out the window. The Biological Institute. This is where I'm supposed to meet Professor Hartman. The professor's office is the only lead I've got for where he might be. Damn it. Looks like it's home time already. Closed. Gotta be another way to get into the prof's office. The camera is covering the entire entrance. The doorman will be watching every move I make. Unfortunately, not all of the walls in Berlin got ripped down. I know Berlin punks are finding new body parts to punch holes in every day, but I think we've some years yet before all-over body piercing comes into fashion. Although, with that security camera there, perhaps I could upload the result to YouTube and set the trend. Who am I kidding? I'm no punk. A small rolled-up carpet. Has someone lost their faith? The first accessory for my sailboat. If I throw the carpet over the metal spikes, I can climb over the wall unscathed, but I'd end up in full view of the security camera. It's not gonna work as is. Full to the brim with cartons and newspapers. No. Without a very, very good reason, I am not going to touch that. Bio-waste. Certainly the right color. Wow, that stinks. No. Without a very, very good reason, I am not going to touch that. A cheap imitation of a Persian carpet. I don't have the professor's cell number. There's a notice from garbage collection stuck on the letterbox. According to this, the BSR collects the waste paper first. Then another truck comes for the bio-waste. The bulky stuff goes tomorrow. newspaper collection's been and gone. Well, okay, but just this once. Where's it supposed to go? Sounds like a good plan. If I throw the carpet over the metal spikes, I could climb over easily enough. But then I'd be in full view of the security camera and the doorman would spot me. I need to find a better way. Made it. Now I somehow have to get into the Institute and find Professor Hartman's office. What seemed to be the main entrance. Waltz into the building through the main entrance? The doorman would chuck me straight out. There's gotta be some more subtle way in there. The window on the upper floor is open. Low walls, okay. 2 stories? Nope. I am not a world-class free climber. The gardener would appear to give the weekend a higher priority than tidying up his tools. Good man. The perfect entry assistance. Whoever said size doesn't matter was covering something up. This ladder, in particular, is way too short. What can we say about this ladder? It's aluminium. That means it's light and easy to handle. It seems to be new. There are no signs of use on it. I count 14 rungs divided over 2 legs, which are held together by 2 thin chains. Well, that's that then. I'm no quitter. I'm not leaving until I've found the prof's office and some clue as to where he's disappeared off to. A plastic box. That's what comes from leaving your tools lying around. These work gloves are at least 3 sizes too big for my delicate hands. Who needs a bolt cutter when head shears can do the job just as well? I've cut through the chains. Well, it's longer, but it's also lost any semblance of structural integrity. Now, if that's not the most cutest abandoned rake. A rake. I'll push the rake through the rungs of both of the ladder's legs. I've shoved the rake through the rungs to give the ladder more stability. Even so, this whole construction is pretty damn rickety. Still too unsteady. The rake could slip out from between the rungs if I climbed up it. A poorly coiled hose. Damn. The clamp is solid. I can't get the hose off. Freedom for garden hoses. That's a horse chestnut. It was Tree of the Year in 2005. How do I know that? It says so on the little sign. I'll tie the rake to the garden hose so that the whole thing becomes a bit more steady. I've secured the rake with the garden hose. That's a pretty sturdy contraption. That is a sturdy ladder. Well done, Sam. Climbing through windows. A real cat burglar me. And look, the coast is clear. That office belongs to a Dr. Fritz Schneider. Not Professor Hartman's office. Forms and faculty notices. Not much interest to me. Nothing that I could use. That's Lieschen Muller's office. Not Professor Hartman's office. Go down and run into the doorman's arms, perhaps? I don't want to push my luck too far. Professor Hartman's office. Won't open. And there it is, the exception to the rule. You don't always find something useful in waste bins. A snack machine. Each of these little calorie bombs costs a cool $1.99. No dough, no go. Here's a box of empty file folders. Oh, empty files. Useless. The sign is fastened to the tree with 4 screws. Nothing's gonna happen without some tools. Now let's see what's in it. I always keep this photo on me. It's supposed to remind me what I'm grafting for every day. Fulfilling my childhood dream of owning a pretty little white sailboat. Globetrotters like my humble self prefer electronic means of payment. That's for the locker at the airport where I've stashed my travel luggage. I never actually have a lot of cash on me. I'll just pick up the €2 coin and stick it in my sailboat piggy bank. I need something sturdy to loosen the screws. Too big for the small screws. The coin's a bit too thick to fit the screws. You only live once. I'll take a bag of crackers. My snack? And 1-cent change. The 1-cent coin is thin enough to unscrew it. Amazeballs! Ugh, I have sunk to a new low. On the thin metal sign it says common horse chestnut and the Latin name Aesculus hippocastanum. That'll work. I'll bet my sailboat on it. Phew. Okay, Sam. Find the damn info on where our perfidious professor's gone off to. And then maybe, just maybe, you'll get your story, a pay rise, and that nice little sailboat you're dreaming of. The cliche that professors are not exactly neat freaks might well hold true. But surely this is taking it to the next level. Hartman really must have left in a hurry. A stack of homework, botany books, and writing materials. Thanks, but I don't think that they're gonna help me right now. From algae to zygopetalum, there's everything a botanist's heart could desire here. Files with details of students' projects and the prof's expeditions. Maybe I'll find a clue here. These files all have GHN on them. The TUR projects. These files are labeled CGL. This section has projects marked ARJ. There are some scraps of torn up paper on the top. There's some torn up paper on the top. I'll take a closer look. A ripped up fax. Now let's see if I can put this back together. His expedition party sent him a fax. They've discovered some hitherto unknown species. Great, but where, for heaven's sake? Unfortunately, there's only a code here. GHN 7531. But maybe that'll help me further. This file is marked GHN 7520 to GHN 7535. It ought to contain notes from the current expedition. Bingo. GHN 7531. The expedition has gone to Ghana, to Lake Basomtwi. So what the hell are they looking for there? Lake Basomtwi lies in the meteorite crater in Ghana's Ashanti region. It's 8 kilometers in diameter, about 80 meters deep, and doesn't have an outflow. The ecosystem and the lake are endemic, meaning there are lots of plant and animal varieties that are unique to that location. The priority is investigating the effects on the ecosystem of a massive meteorite strike. What's that on the fax? The expedition has discovered some previously unknown organism. If the story's big enough to pull the professor away with such short notice, perhaps it's big enough to buy me a boat. Let's hit the trail for Ghana and Lake Basomtwi. The flight to Accra via Amsterdam was pretty fuss-free. But the in-flight food was crappy, as expected. I was able to revive myself with some traditional fufu and a few Gordon Sparks in a chop shop before a bush pilot flew me into an airfield by Lake Basomtwi. With a bit of luck,